Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Kryptocraft vanilla server. We are heading over here to the ice tray to take a look at it in its final, complete working state. Well, actually, no, not quite final. I still don't have all the pistons in place, but the mechanism all works and is wired up for the entire thing. So I still gotta get pistons and get the rest of the wool in place, but for now, I do want to show that, hey look, it works. It's a little weird in the way it goes down, but that's okay. And if we go down right here, I think will be suitable. Or not. I gotta do something about that. Let's see here. Let's put this dirt right there. Seems a little bit jittery here. I'm messing around with some video settings and recording codecs and a variety of different things like that because I've been having issues with the video desyncing from the audio and then reverting and things like that. It's kind of weird. So this is by far not the cleanest redstone. It's a horrible mess of redstone, but you're going to get to see it anyway. So when the switch is on, this all powers all of these pistons from the blocks underneath. There's a line of redstone that goes underneath that will power, it powers these three pistons here. And then it also branches it to fill up this redstone. I hear somebody walking around. I think he's down in the caves underneath. Which then, that also branches out to cover all of these blocks, which will have pistons on them. And then the redstone underneath comes over and again powers, I think it's these three here. And the reason it does these is that they're pretty hard to get to directly, so this way I can power those without jumping through as many hoops. And then it comes over here and gets the rest of the pistons on this line. And the other side looks very similar to this. So that is the messy way of doing redstone. But, well, it works, so I'm okay with that. So we've got that down. Let's go ahead and collect a bunch more ice, because we are going to need it for our next projects, and I want to show how the refill actually is all working now. I did a little bit of adjustment to the dispenser configuration that seems to work more reliably. We'll get into that in just a moment. I'm going to speed this up just a moment. Okay, it is starting to get towards dark, so we're not going to hang out here too long. But you can see I changed the way that the dispensers work at the end here. Problem I was having is it was not spreading the infinite water source fast enough through the corner here, and it was getting pulled back. And that was causing a bit of the ice tray not to get filled with water. So by moving the end dispenser around the corner here, it generates an infinite spring in this corner faster and is able to generate that before the before that edge double ticks and gets pulled back. So if we hit the dispenser button, you can see it sends it out, pulls it back, and the ice tray is completely filled with water. Then we come over here, hit this lever. I apparently broke something. That's no good. What did I break? Where did I break it? Oh, somehow I broke the repeater. That's no good. Okay, so stuck down here now. Let's see here. Okay, so now that all pops up, and we'll let the ice build faster, and we'll get the rest of that built up. As soon as I can get the pistons, I've got to go slime hunting and collect more sticky slime balls to make more sticky pistons for it, which I haven't had a chance to do yet. Making sure I didn't have any ice left over. Oh, and we get 1, 2, 3, 4, and about 4¼ stacks of ice from every time that ice tray is completely filled. It'll be a little bit under 4 stacks once the rest of the wool is in place for the ice tray, because it will take a little bit more of the water spots. Let's sleep the night away, and then we're going to get started on the first part of our underwater base. Now I've got some ice. Let us go down here. I don't have a lot of glass, but we'll make do with what we got. I don't know if I need a whole lot of glass yet. We may need some snow. I might have to go farm a bit more snow. And the other thing that I have is a bunch of leaves that I plan on using to clear the water out of the area that I'm working. And that may also serve as some temporary filler blocks. You can see I've got a pretty good supply of ice already. And let's start coming up with some ideas here. So I have a rough idea of what I have in mind, but I haven't really figured out any of the details yet. So what I'm thinking here is I want to start with a proper animal farm for animals that we want to keep in it. And what I want to do, I think, is to start going down into the water kind of at the end of this peninsula. Or I think I just changed my mind on where I want to enter the water at. Feels like it's jittery to me right now, and I don't know why. Maybe I want to actually... Oh, you can also see in the distance there another pillar. That's the last spot that I was working on caving. So this will probably end up ultimately with a pretty easy tie into the cave systems. Maybe instead of going off the end of that peninsula first, maybe we'll start over here, because I think the water is deeper here. One thing I forgot to grab before we left the house is some night vision potions so that we can see underwater. That will be an important thing for us. We'll probably also want to have some respiration and aqua affinity in the long run to make this whole process easier. Let's see, I'm not, where the cactus is out there, I'm not really farming them so much as just using them for, that's what I want. And I'm going to take one of these with me as well, because we're just about to where we need it. Let's see, what was I saying? I don't know what I was saying. Oh well, must not have been very important. Let's go over here with this night vision and check out the bottom of the water here, the ocean floor, if you will, and see what we're up to. Look at that. A very smooth ocean floor. Looks like we got some clay spread out there. That looks kind of like clay all over there. Is that clay or is it gravel? It's hard to tell. That might be gravel or stone. That looks like stone. So night vision potions are really handy for working underwater. Basically, you can see, at least from above, you can see as far as you... it lights it up long range. So that's quite handy. So let's get started here. Now, I kind of want to go with a lot more ambient lighting. I don't want to have a lot of I don't want to need to have a whole lot of torches or anything else all over the place. So I want to be able to have everything lit up, or everything spawn-proof without having a huge amount of lights. And we'll probably have some jack-o'-lanterns and things like that, but we're also going to have to be very careful about lighting and distances because of the ice. That's a shame. There should be ice slabs. So what we will probably end up using a lot of is various types of slabs. Is there anything else I can get rid of? Guess I can get rid of those for the moment. So what we're going to start with here is... That is not what I expected to be placing. I don't know why I expected to be placing a slab there, but that's what I had expected to be placed. Okay, let's put some sand. Let's spread this out a little bit more here. We're going to go kind of along these lines, and what I want to end up with is a 3-wide hallway that's going to be going down into the water, and then on either side of that we'll have some sort of we'll have some walls, probably mixing ice and leaves, and then on the top of it, let's see if we can find a spot where we can start here. On top, it will be, so let's see, what is that? That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's perfect. Although the side here should be, we're going to take those away. The sides will be something else. Let us go like, we need a solid block on our bar. How about, too bad I don't have dirt. Let's put that in that. There we go. And boom. And let's get this level. This is design on the fly, because I really don't have a plan together quite yet. Let's see what happens if we place some stuff around like so. I feel like that needs to come up onto the surface a bit. The sun is going down, so we don't have a lot of time to mess around getting this into a relatively safe design. Let's go over here. I guess I could spread out some torches in this area. It feels very jittery. I'm going to have to tweak video settings more. Yeah, I've been having issues where, I'm sure some have noticed, where on some of the videos where the footage seems to just kind of rewind back a few seconds, and it'll end up being out of sync for a while. It's all sorts of weird stuff. I've seen it sometimes in editing, but I don't always see it, and there's really not a lot I can do to fix it in editing, because I don't have any other... It's the video itself that seems to be broken. Okay, that should hopefully help to alleviate some of the problems that we'll run into. But yeah, so I've been trying out some new settings here. Hopefully they will make things better in the long run, but I might have to do some more tweaking. So I think we're going to end up with something along these lines as our entry into the water. Perhaps. Might not be anything like this when we're done. I don't know yet. I like the idea of building with the ice, though. And this is why we had such a struggle, or went through all of the effort to get our hands on the Silk Touch, which the Squatch was so kind to provide for us. And now we need to go here. Just like so. And this is going to be the part where it gets very tricky to build. Because at some point, we're going to have to clear all of the water out of this tunnel. And it's got to be closed off. It has to be closed off pretty well before we actually are able to start clearing out the extra water. So like if I were to close it this way, then I can clear the water from these and be good. But as soon as I take that back out, I now have running water all over there and can't really do much of anything with it. So let's put that. And I'll try to clear out a lot of those scaffolding. Oh, look, there's the night vision going away. Try to clear out a lot of the scaffold as we go. Let's get down. I don't know if I'll get all of the scaffolding out or not. That is something that will remain to be seen. But we will see what we can do. Now I should make this horse height for sure. Which means I think it needs to be one higher. Oh, that's not high enough. Yeah, I think this is going to need to go up one level before we're done. Just so that it's all nice and high, so that we can ride our horse down into the underwater base. Now, I think in order to get an idea what this is going to end up looking like, let's go ahead and build up a little bit of a space here. This is going to be a little bit tricky because I'm apparently out of torches. I should remedy that so that I can do some torch tricks here. Otherwise, this is going to be much harder than it needs to be. Let's see. I need some other solid blocks, because I don't think I can place the torches on those. Okay, let's go back down here. What I should do is get a sign and make a more permanent air station. Oops, I'm out of that stack of leaves. Okay, more air. This could be a little bit of a challenge getting it started. Once we get some progress, though. It should be easier to expand it. Okay. Now then, if I go some more up here. Fill in some more down this way. And we'll just kind of close this off. Then we can see. Look, we now have a spot that we can be without it being flooded. Okay, so if I take this away and put this in its place. Now you can see out. I've got air. We can see out through the glass. We can get rid of that. Go down one more. My stuff just broke. My shears, that is. And now... Whoops. That was a little bit more than I intended to break. Well, actually, we want to put ice there. So this is kind of the general idea. And we won't have all the floors and ceiling being leaves. I think the ceiling is going to be all ice and some of the walls. So we might have things like the walls something like this, where you can see out into the depths of the ocean. But this is kind of the general, kind of the gist of it. And it's just going to be a matter of building out some of this area and not overbuilding like that. So yeah, this is why I needed all of the ice tray, need all of this ice, because we're going to be building a whole bunch of stuff like this. Let's get some more ice up there. Put some leaves there. Leaves there. And axe. Shear that up, and there we go. So now we have a small leaf shelter at the bottom of the ocean here. Let us go and do a quick door, because I think we should be able to place a door. Yeah, I want a door. There we go. Should be able to place a door. Not on leaves. How about on snow? There we go. Now we have a doorway out into the ocean. So we can use this as a shelter. We could actually even do this as a double door to make it easier to get in and out of. Because I think this is going to stay here for a little while. Just because it's going to be handy having a way in and out of the water at the bottom of the water so that we can see what we're doing, so that we can get air and see what we're working on. Let's also change these out for ice. There we go. Looks like the sun is starting to rise. So we'll be able to use this as a little bit of a way to see what some of the stuff we're building looks like, as well as a good spot to catch air, so we can reinvigorate ourselves while we're building. And hopefully I didn't build that right in the way, but it should give a general idea how this is going to all come together and work. So yeah, this is going to have to go up. So let's take that ice ceiling off. Hopefully not lose too many blocks. I don't know if I like the all-leaf walls anyway. In fact, I know I'm not going to like that. I don't know what I want quite yet. If you have ideas for how the walls should be set up, especially on the hallway areas, I think that's going to be the harder one for me to come up with something that I like, is on the hallways. And that includes the hallways going into the water and moving around. I'm thinking nether brick slabs for the floor might look interesting. Let's also, while we're here, or in this general area at the end of this episode, coming up here in just a minute, let's go get some pumpkins and see what jack-o'-lanterns look like at the base of the walls, and also at the bottom of our little ocean, or our little enclosure at the bottom, and see what that looks like. Down here, we got a bunch of pumpkins. We'll turn all of these into jack-o'-lanterns. And go back over. Get back over to our entry point. I think this is, once we start making some actual progress here, this is going to look pretty interesting, I think. That was more than I intended. Why can't... Oh, I've got to have a block underneath of it. There we go. Let's do that. I kind of like that they're occluded somewhat, although I was more thinking there, but that'll be fine for the moment. Let's also look at it in this spot at the very beginning point. I like how that part's looking so far. Let's go down here. Get inside. Grab the rest of those leaves. Get a bite to eat. Now here's the part that we got to be really careful about with the ice here, is we can't have light too close to it or it will melt. So if we go like so, is that too close for it to where it's going to melt that ice? I'm not sure. We might have to go down more. Let's get this back. Let's go put that there. The leaves in. Because even there, that provides a lot of light inside and should be far enough away that we don't have issues with the sand, or with the not the sand, with the ice melting. There we go. So that looks pretty good. I kind of like the way that that comes up through the leaves, but we won't have leaves for flooring. I do like this little lookout shelter, though. This is kind of neat. So I'm going to let this go. We'll see if that ice melts. Hopefully it doesn't. And with that, that's going to do it for this episode. I'm probably going to do a bit of work on the tunneling system, getting it into the first part, probably like the first kind of entryway area, and get that built out off camera. And hopefully in the next episode we'll be able to actually build out, or maybe we won't be building out, but maybe we'll be moving animals into the animal farm area of the underwater base. Maybe that will go out towards spawn, and we may end up with a few different entry points into this base at various shore points. Because I think that kind of makes sense, especially building it here. Wow, look how bright that is. You can see that. You can see that really clearly through the water. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you guys next time. And definitely make sure to take a moment to send any suggestions you might have for how you think that the walls should look, because I'm not entirely satisfied. Well, I'm not satisfied at all with just all leaves. I don't think that's going to work. But I don't know what else to really do with them quite yet. And again, with that, I will see you guys next time. Bye!